Hello, hello. This is 2 videos, 1 week. What's going on here? Jaden and Rob had an awesome game last night, Lackey Grand Prix, and I had sent a very similar offense that I'm showing right now to, I believe it was Rob Smith. So, Rob, you should have studied. Um, and after watching, I kind of put that offense on the shelf. And then after watching the game last night with Jaden and Rob playing, I really liked the post exilics coming in, and I was able to see kind of what Jaden was doing and then what my other offense was doing. I kind of combined the two. Originally, I tried to recreate the Bethany trio again, and I keep forcing whatever I can. So this originally was supposed to be the Resurrection Revealer and like some nativity in general. Was Gabriel, and I was making the tokens with right on and impartial, and I love that massive play. You can bounce everything in their territory, get rid of their territory, bounce their evil, and then you impartial them for 20. And with your tokens and Chamber of Angels, and I was trying to have Elizabeth in here too, and more so focusing on white. And the offense sounds amazing, but it just wasn't executing. It was a little bit of everything. So I've been working in the background on a gospel version of the best of stuff. I still think disciples are the best because you get so much with their heroes now, and they really love the battle winning dominance. But I have an offense that uses GOC only, so you get the unity and all sorts of stuff, and has these big bands and Bethany Trio, and it hits your hand and all that. So I'm working on it. That one's a little tougher to make. That's going to take some tweaking. So I really wanted to show this. I was able to finish this up last night after watching Jaden and Rob play. So this is the defense I posted. I guess a slight variant. I took out Gates of Hell and just took out Gates of Hell from reserve. I still want it in there. Any sort of extra add to battle is really good. It's just tough to, like, maybe Gates of Hell comes in for like By My Spirit, but then I would also want to put in another Thief so I can Gates of Hell Deceiver and go to someone in my reserve. Probably be Fence Jumpers, but either way, this is at 50, and I'm really focused on the offense here. So I will show it out of the way. These are characters that I can use for both. When I play Thieves, it's very difficult for me to play Judas as an evil character, but he can be a liability on offense for Choose the Hero. So he's usually a defensive character because he still gets the restrict good doms and banned really, really good. So I usually use him as an evil character, and as much as it pains me to not have his hero side. Condemned Thief and Zacchaeus, I really like both as evil, and there's a lot of oppression in this deck. So, not a lot, but there's a good bit. Like Sheol, Kingdoms, Judas if I wanted to, Ambushing Bandits, Zacchaeus, and Akeem. So a lot of hitting their territory. Condemned Thief is really good as both. I can use as a hero in a pinch. If I need to, I could always bounce them with my characters in Book of the Law. But usually these are all used as evil characters. So that makes the evil character count where I want it to be. Matthew loves going against this deck. A lot of brigades. Hats off to Jaden for using Covenant with Adam. That obliterates Antipasta and Saul. that is phenomenal. So I have to look at mine. Like, it also beats my Deceiver, and what was the other one? Yeah, Ambushing Bandits. So I got to be cognizant and aware. Oh, and Judas. Dang, what are you doing in here? Very, very sneaky good card. And if you weren't watching the game last night, Covenant with Adam's ongoing, so as soon as an evil character blocks, Covenant with Adam checks, and then their ability happens. So decrease blocking evil characters, or just characters blocking, sorry. 03, so Deceiver would never actually proc or trigger or activate. So, where does that leave us? Out of the way. Come on, move. You are not the stars here. Z-Temp, Book of the Law, cool. I used to use 12 heroes, like, on the reg in Type 1, but I've been using more Type 2. I've been using more 10. I don't know why I said Type 2. I missed Type 2. I've been using 10 lately with the 1 territory class and bumping up my enhancement count. So, with this is a hero-heavy offense. So here's what we're going to do. Jeremy's used Temple Spears and Shields in the past. It's very, very good. This is a build-up offense. Something I like that is kind of like an old-school feel to Redemption, and it's really important now, is you're not trying to win on the first turn. So you can play like a ramp-up offense and a defense to where you're getting your resources, you're playing your resources correctly, and you know when to play your resources, which means correctly, but timing is important. You don't need to just rush out and use your Angel of the Lord first turn, or use Mayhem because you had a bad hand. Yeah, you can use that, but resources are much more important in 1 territory class, and you now have the beauty of building into a really strong offense. So, what do you mean by that, Tyler? So here's kind of what the offense is wanting to do. This is the ultimate band that the offense does. So David goes to Joshua, and usually that will go to Jehu with his sword. And then from there, we exchange. And we usually exchange to Zadok holding Temple Spears and Shields. Whoops. Alright, come on. Now Zadok, I just pronounced that 2 different ways, Zadok, can band to a Tab Priest or an Old Testament Green Prophet and protect royal heroes from harm, and if used by an Old Testament Priest, may band to a Red Warrior. If used by a Red Warrior, you may bounce an evil character. So I can bounce, and I like to bounce my own, so they can't use my own against me, but you bounce theirs, it doesn't matter. So now I have a little bit of protection in the band. If like Jehoshaphat's in there, like Jehoshaphat can come in the beginning, it doesn't matter. He can be used in different spots of the band, so we'll just put him over there for now. Now I band to a Green Prophet. Temple Spears bands allows my character to band to a Red Warrior. So a couple different ways I can do this. It could be Phineas or Jehoshaphat or Nehemiah. If it's Jehoshaphat, then I band to a priest, and both of my post-exilic priests can then band to a Postee. So then I can go Zerubbabel to Eliud. So that's one way. Or I can go, Phineas could go to Nehemiah or Jehoshaphat, and I can do the same thing. Or Nehemiah exchanges, and he could also exchange to a post-exilic. And then your weapons are CBN by evil cards, and your weapons, and your post-exilic, your meek cards are protected from evil cards. And then I can bring in more guys, Zerubbabel to Elliot. So my entire offense, that's what the band is. So not bad, huh? And then I flip Zerubbabel, and he's now protected, and he's out of battle. He's out of battle, and that's out of battle. This is a similar offense Jaden used against me in Type 2, where it's just a conglomerate of everything. So, yeah, you have protection with Temple Spears. You have protection with Nehemiah, so your David, your Jehoshaphat are protected by Temple Spears. And Nehemiah is protecting your Zerubbabel. You have a CBN band. Joshua hit their territory in one way or the other. And Jehu could get the discard an evil human and then hit their hand or reserve. And Jehu also hits their hand. Then you have more CBP banding. If you control another tab priest, which we do, you may banish up to X evil cards from a discard pile. It's kind of cool because it plays in with Postees, even though I'm not using that at all. And Jeshua is always good. I don't need Jeshua in battle here. But it's a CBN band, a CBI band, and then we have the protection that's pretty much inherently CBN, kind of CBI. And then I get to hit their hand because Zerubbabel's meek, and then Jeremiah tosses the next. So I can hit their hand for 3, I hit their territory with Joshua, I have protection, and I have Jeremiah to toss the next. I was really, really trying to do like Jairus' daughter, Bethany Trio, because Bethany Trio is CBN in battle. Jairus negates other cards, and I could have like Gabriel, and you really just needed Jehu to come in and exchange and then go to people that can ban. It was just not working with Old Testament, and I think it's there with New Testament. So that's what I'm experimenting with in my free time. So this is the Old Testament version. Really, really solid. And yeah, so it's pretty much a hand control. I wanted to negate evil cards in battle too. So I guess that's one more, right? So we'll move that out of the way. Meanwhile, you have Z-Temp and Book. So you get your Z-Temp, which can top deck, and Jeshua takes it. And then you get your Book of the Law, which gives you your bounce, and then you also get a top deck. So this all comes out really quick, and you're getting resources very quickly. I actually changed the reserve up a little bit just because I was getting resources out so quick. I almost want to take out like more evil cards and just bring in good enhancements, because Z-Temp and Book of the Law with Jeshua, I'm just grabbing 2 cards and attack, and then Z-Temp or Zerubbabel is drawing 2. So I'm hitting your territory in your hand, and I'm gathering resources. So really good offense, just keeps coming. There's a lot of pieces you have to take out, and I can just keep attacking. Amazing Faith, really good in general. Teaching in Parables and First Sacrifice for the hand hitting as well. These usually turn into battle winners. A lot of territory class stuff, that's fine, because I'm so reliant on my heroes. I want to get my heroes out, and I want to get to a negate or royal parade with Z Temper Book of Law. This band comes out quick. I'm hitting you and getting rid of cards in your hand, and I'm just putting pressure on you. It's really cool because I'm also doing the same on my defense. So I really like how they play. End up getting Covenant with Adam going too. It's just a really good offense. I'll end up having Royal Parade in my hand, By My Spirit, Amazing Faith. There's enough there, because I felt like there wasn't, but there's enough there with just this big band that tosses and hits your hand that it's tough for the opponent. I do think Jaden's right in the sense that Voice from Heaven should probably be in here because people's reliance on Saul. And maybe this turns into Herod's and I play Herodias. I'm not sure yet. Because if I'm tossing and hitting your hand and you can just block and grab something from reserve, you still have to toss the first. Like Jeremiah still crushes Saul. But you can give up one lost soul and then get another card from reserve. I don't know. No, I guess not, because Saul's going to die in battle, and yeah, you're going to have to build up into a block. Also, Roman destroys Jerusalem, the Old Testament. So there's nothing here that, even though that's Gospel Hero, he's Old Testament. So Roman destroys Jerusalem, doesn't touch this. What else? Tossing the first is really, really good, especially when people are just going to the reserve and just getting initiative and playing the first. So Covenant with Adam and Jeremiah are both really good. I could always just attack and have a Royal Parade with Jeremiah. Like, that's still a good attack. I do want to bring in other enhancements just because I feel more comfortable that way. But I'm not entirely sure. It's already at 50. So that's where we're at with the dominance. I wanted to get a little as consistent, and once it gets going, this deck has resources. I did need a little help, so I brought in Mayhem and Crowd's Choice to help any little pieces of the offense that I need. It's tough for me not to play Vain Philosophy in a Thieves defense. It works so well. Look at their hand, take the CBP card or CBN card, and then just block with Plunders is phenomenal. Well, you underdeck it. 3 woes is standard. And because I'm lacking on like battle winners up front in the deck and enhancements, I feel sometimes I need Angel of the Lord. So those are the dominants. This is my standard soul package. You can change it up as needed. Galileans for my defense. And because it's all pretty much Evil New Testament minus just the one card, just seized. Distressed, just another. Oh yeah, I didn't say that earlier. An impressive card. Humble. It's always good to have. Like, I have a lot of CBP, but Humble's always good to have. Prosperity. I feel like I do have a couple cards that I could discard first turn or second turn to help get everything going. And then I always use Imitate on Lawless and Harvest and Galileans as needed. The defense we'll go over super quick. Pretty standard. You have your Unity Thieves, so just watch out for the Deceiver, or Unity Crimson, so just watch out for the Deceiver. You have both Ambushing Bandits and Zacchaeus, to where you negate enhancements in their territories, and if they use a good draw ability, they have to give me one. They all band and draw. It's pretty crazy. It helps a lot with this deck needing or wanting pieces to really get the machine and the engine moving. So really good there. Constant hand looking, taking. The Thief's good. It was just in here because Gates of Hell. Judas really helps. Judas is so good in this defense. So the main block here, you start with Plunderers, Highwayman, or vice versa because he's CBN. So you go Highwayman, then Plunderers. and Judas. And then you can ban to a demon. You could always throw in ambushing bandits. But that's the start of the block. And then you have Thief and Deceiver. And depending on who's where, like Thief exchanges from deck or territory, or generic. Exchange this card with a Thief from deck or territory. So then you just go to Thief. I forgot. That's why he's in there. And then I can just end the chain with any of my Thieves, which is usually going to be condemned. So I'll go, you're not repenting yet. So Highwayman, Plunderers, Judas, go to the Thief. Thief goes to condemned. And this gives me a draw or a play, Sheol and Kingdoms. And then Plunderers, prevent the next. And then Judas, restrict good doms. And then I get to just take an enhancement from their hand. Cannot be prevented. So they have to get around Plunderers. They can't play good doms. And I get to take an enhancement from their hand. So that's what you have to deal with. It's the same thing as this. Is it not? So if anything, I can go back to Shamed Woman and Nebby and lose my Unity. But I don't know. I go back and forth. Maybe Nebby is better than having ambushing bandits, especially when they can't block with Covenant with Adam up. Can all these guys, right? Yeah, Judas can't either. So something to look at. I could always get the additional draw going as well. And right here. So a ton of drawing on the defense. Ambush is always good to bring in Temple Thieves to get the negate. I hate not having Den of Thieves in here, but so many times it's like a fluff card that you want, but you don't always get to use, and maybe that's just not enough in-person play. So yeah, that's the deck. I really like it. It's a massive hand control in a new way. So we will, look, it's called Jehu Bethany, and it is not. We'll do a quick simulation, because that's what we do here. We don't actually play. So I can still look at their reserve. This is, in my opinion, the most underrated star card in the game. And of course I get it first turn. But yeah, you draw this, you take a card. That's insane. So take is confusing, I've said that before, because you take a card from your deck, or you take a card, and that defaults to play. So like same with David, he takes a generic human warrior. And I've said this wrong on the channel before. That doesn't mean I go to my deck and take out a generic human warrior. That means if there's a human warrior out, I get to take it. And Purloin takes a card. So anything you have in your territory, I just show you my Purloins and I take it. So yeah, this is why the dominants are so important in this deck, because it's hero heavy and it doesn't like rush to Matthew, that you are hoping to get one of these two dominants, or it just helps with the ratios. So here we can absolutely, we can just play Crowd's Choice, go to a hero and play Mayhem, put down all our heroes. That's rushing. We would have to know who we want. Like, do we get Zerubbabel right here? And then put down all our guys? I don't know. If we use the Crowd's Choice early, and we don't use the Mayhem, then that's tough. We put down 4, we play Mayhem, we get net 3. essentially 6 new cards, and we gained 3. If we play Crowd's Choice, we go to Zerubbabel, more than likely, and we have a Zerubbabel to Eliod turn 1. But we have nothing really to back them up. If we play Crowd's Choice, get Zerubbabel, put Zerubbabel down, put down our heroes, we play Mayhem for a net 4. These are the decisions people have to make in tournaments in a matter of 10 seconds, which usually turns into 2 minutes. But they have to make these decisions, and that decides the game. Here we go. Now we could always, Emmaus Road, but it doesn't matter. We're already going to search. And we're just going to play Zerubbabel. All right. I won't say we struck gold, but we like Jeshua. Although we can't hit our reserve this turn. Sometimes I don't show that I have an artifact because people they know that's one less card, like ratio wise. I just keep this in my hand, so they know that I have 6 cards in hand. Chances are I have an enhancement. So from here, we do have a big band up front. It's not great. I think the play here is just Zerubbabel to Eliod, and we'll get the draw 2. But we don't have much to back them up, so it's scary. That is scary, Gary. So they got to hit one from hand. What are you just flipping them over? They got to discard an evil card from hand or territory. I didn't say this earlier. It's always hand or territory. That's why we bounce when we want to. Force them to discard. It's also why Joshua and Jehu are so good in this, because they don't have targets. So I almost wonder if I would even attack in a tournament if I just wouldn't do anything, because we don't want to lose them that early. Maybe a battle challenge would be nice. So there's a lot there that we would have to sniff out. Now we haven't used a territory class. I'm going to be honest. I don't think we need delivered in here, right? Yeah, we do not need delivered in here. That originally was a leftover from when I was playing with Book of the Covenant and New Covenant and Send the Helper with Bethany and stuff. So that's not needed. We do have a meek hero. We could get whatever good card we want, which is so nice in this deck because we can go to evil characters. We're probably going to want Jehu. I feel like we have a block. Like getting out Zacchaeus with Solomon's Dream is nice too, and Judas. Just a lot of targets you can do. But we know what we're trying to do, right? So we discard. I think it's wise to put it down at the end, even though you don't need to. A lot of characters in hand. We do want to negate their enhancements in territory early on. He's a thief already, so it's while another thief is in play. So we're going to have to show him. But the fact that we get to negate enhancements in their territory is really good. I think that's good. So then it would be their turn, and they attack. I can go straight to Sheol, or straight to Kingdoms, or I can get the draw. I feel like I need to replenish and get my deck going. So I would look at their hand, we'll give myself a draw 2, and he gets to band. Now here's the next thing. Do I want another draw 2, or just take an enhancement from their hand? I think the correct move is to take an enhancement from their hand all day. I get to look at their hand with Highwayman, so I would know if that's the correct move. Like if I take their CBN card, and then I get to play Hurling Insults on the next one. So that's what I would do. I'd take an enhancement from their hand. And then whatever they played, I'm going to interrupt it, because I know that that would do the trick. Now, I don't need Delivered, and I have Prosperity, so no stars. I discard Delivered to draw 2, draw 1, and I can Galileans on my Ambushing Bandit to get an enhancement. But I know I'm going to get some drawing and searching going, so I think I'm okay. I think I'd rather have Ambushing Bandits at the end of my turn, so they essentially are going to think about drawing, and they can't play enhancements in their territory, and their characters are negated. And that's going to be, end of turn 2 plus Sheol out. So I think that's the move. Nothing here upkeep-wise. And we're still in stars, actually. So, no. I passed that with Prosperity. I drew into my stars with Prosperity. I already checked that. And we can put down Sheol. We're going to go ahead and book. And now we have Akeem. So we're at a very controlling board state already. Sheol's down. We know we're going to put Ambushing Bandits down. We have Zacchaeus down. We have Akeem down and Distressed. We're in the pilot seat. From a territory class perspective, we look at our reserve first. Don't think we need anything here. We're going to want an enhancement to back us up, or a character. And if we go to wages, if we go to Emmaus, and we get a star card, it's probably Amazing Faith, and I just have a big band with Amazing Faith. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's what we'll do. And we'll double check. And now we have our book, our Jeshua. We don't have all our pieces yet, but it's turn 2. And look at the board state. So you got to understand, we're not trying to get this massive, massive board state and these crazy attacks so early. We're trying to put constant pressure on the opponent and play kind of that mid-game. We call that the J Chambers. So we don't have all of our banding, but we do have a good band with Zerubbabel, Eliad, with Ezra. We can add Jeshua, but we don't need to. So I think we would just go Ezra, and we don't want them to take anything from my hand. So we're going to bounce Condemn Thief, and we're going to go to band to a Postee, and then go to Zerubbabel, convert to draw 2, and then you may band to a Postee or play one from deck. And just go to Eliad, discard an evil card from hand or territory. That's free value for us. And now we have Book of the Law that we get to top deck. Good card. Jeshua, so we get to essentially take. We can play Royal Parade because we have Ezra in battle. And we have By My Spirit, 7-0 negate. I think we take Royal Parade because we have Amazing Faith. And that makes them want to take out Ezra, and we don't really care. So kind of mess with their mind there. So yeah, we're good right here. Whatever they do, essentially we go to Amazing Faith. I have Son of God in hand, so I'd be inclined to go to Second Coming and just drop Mama Bear, Papa Bear. Not that that would win the battle by any means. There's really strong defenses right now, but it's okay. Gonna put down Ambushing Bandits. And we can go ahead and drop Son of God if there's a Lost Soul out there that we want to negate. And we are good. So now we still have our band with a woes. So I think we're good. We do have an enhancement to back them up. I still think the move here, I don't think we have to draw. I think we want Kingdoms down early. The earlier Kingdoms is down, the better. Especially if you don't have that Judas out yet. So, Soul Gen, and I can play my own souls, which is good because I have Galileans in distress that are if put in play. Same with Harvest, and Humble's good to have out. So plenty of souls on my deck, out of my deck to play, that are advantageous for me to have. And then I also get to play an evil character, I get to play an evil character as well, which once again, Zacchaeus and Ambushing. So I have Deceiver and the Thief that can go to Highwayman and play my forts. This is a Josh Portrat's thing. He also really likes Remnant, to where you're just taking a character, Sheol, Remnant, take a character, Sheol, Remnant, stuff like that. Then you're just taking their character for a little bit, then Remnant goes out of play, they get it back, it's still really good. Then I would band and take, and then knowing that I would take their CBN card, knowing that I could negate what they're playing, and I can take the negated card. This is really, really good to play outside of battle too, so just keep that in mind. If used by a thief, I can just take your best hero, and I get to draw one outside of battle. Like this card is phenomenal. This card is very scary in Type 2. Probably too scary. Jaden, don't play it. Alright. So I gave myself the block there. I'm undefeated, baby. So now, upkeep. Each upkeep, you may play a soul from deck to play an evil character from deck. We want our plunderers. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We also want our imitate, because this is upkeep. So we want our plunderers, we want our imitate. Then we shuffle, and now we can imitate Harvest and give them a token as well, because we missed the Soul Gen here. And that's pretty much it. We got all of our stuff going. We are missing, we can bounce Zerubbabel with Book of the Law. We're just missing our Jehu's sword, but we still at least have Jehu to bring in others. So we can go David, Joshua, Jehu, and we can still hit their hand. Yeah, we don't have Temple Spears yet. It's easier for this deck to go to the reserve for what it needs very quickly. So I'm almost wondering if By My Spirit goes to the deck and Temple Spears goes to reserve. But we're at 12 cards left and we didn't get it. It being Temple Spears. So we can get Jehu's sword with wages and have that going. So we can just send to the bottom of deck knowing that we're going to Jehu's sword. Okay, forgot I put Jehu's sword in reserve. And put Jehu's sword on Jehu. And we want to make sure we have our attack first. So we're going to go, we can go Jehoshaphat and bounce them because we're going to hit with Elliot if we want. Or we can, bounce our own if we think they can band to it. It's good for the mirror. So we'd probably go Jehoshaphat, then David to Joshua, Joshua to, this deck destroys the mirror. Joshua to Jehu, Jehu to Zerubbabel, which Jehu exchanges from territory. So we know before we attack, we have to put down Zerubbabel. Worst case is he exchanges to Ezra, and then I banned. But keep that in mind. So I put down Zerubbabel, and we know we're going to go to Joshua, to Jehu, to Ezra, to Zerubbabel, to Eliud. So that's going to be our attack. We can bounce whoever we need to. David, Joshua swings, goes to Jehu. Jehu swings, goes to Ezra. Ezra to Zerubbabel. We'll draw 2, and he'll go to Eliud. So he hit them for a lot of damage there. I don't know why I'm saying that. A lot of damage. I don't play like other games that say that, so I don't know why I did that. Hit him for a lot there. So that would be a very strong attack. And what do you know? We can just follow it up with an angel if we want. We also get our Book of Law. So I would probably take Covenant with Adam because my hand's already at 11 or 10. And if they block, Angel Lord, assuming that's the right play. So what's that, like turn 3? Assuming they have a Lost Soul out there. And then our last block would probably be the Highwayman to the Plunderers. We don't have our Demon for Judas, so we'd rather just go Condemned Thief once again, hit their hand, take what they hold near and dear, and try to get a massive capture. Seized by Babylon on Condemned Thief is almost equivalent of Nebi, in my opinion. Almost. Now we draw 3, get the hand look, upkeep, do what we need to. We could always swap out Deceiver for Who's-He What's-It for the Thief. Upkeep is over. If we want it to be, we can use Kingdoms. We don't care if we play an evil character from them. We could always just bounce or discard, whatever. Book of the Law, we can bounce Zerubbabel, and we can turn over Cub Adam. I want to make sure my main band doesn't get hurt by that, right? And territory class-wise, we'll use Plumbline to get... oh no! I won't use Book of the Law yet. We'll use Plumbline on a meek hero, Tyler, to get out to top deck our Temple Spears, which Jeshua takes. And now we'll use Book of the Law, which is what I did, right, everyone? That's stuff you can't do in a tournament. You mess that up, like, you could potentially lose because of that. And now we have the massive band. Yeah, make sure you do it right. Put all your guys down so you can see. And we would go David, Joshua. We could even do Jehoshaphat. Let's make sure before we attack what we know we're going to do. David to Joshua, to Jehu, to Zadok to Jeremiah, And then Zadok also gets to ban 2 a red warrior, Jehoshaphat, who bans 2 a priest, who bans 2 a Postee. So that would be our final attack. Pretty darn good. It would go that way. So there it is. So it is a hand control deck, and you have enough ways to take their hand protection with Purloin, Pilfer, and Woes. Vain Philosophy is extremely good in this deck, and you're not really relying on anything. You have a lot here to work with on offense and defense. It's fast. It's not Matthew, but it is very fast and consistent. And I think the biggest portion of the deck is to play around with the reserve. Now, if people are getting rid of your Book of the Law, that hurts. That's why we have other ways to go to Jehu's Sword and First Sacrifice. We can get our defense how we want, but we're not reliant on our reserve. Wages of Sin to get out Jehu's Sword, plus Book of the Law and Z-Temp, so we can get out everything we need. I got out the Temple Spears late, but all that does is have the additional Jeremiah. And if the opponent hits Zerubbabel or Eliud, like if they kill one of your heroes early, that's fine. It sucks, but it's okay. You're still gonna hit their hand, and you're just gonna go straight to Jeremiah. So it's not like you're gonna have a big ban with Jeremiah and a little bit of protection in that ban too. So it's not bad at all. So I think that's it. Honestly, this is one of my most fun decks right now. It's very strong. It is extremely competitive. I do think this is a top tier deck, and it is full on hand control. Anytime you have a hand control deck, it's always fun. Not for the opponent, but for you. There's not a lot they can do around this just because of Pilfer, Purloin, 3 Woes. Like I can just negate or take your protection. So Vain Philosophy with Thieves, still insanely strong. Highwayman getting out Kingdoms and Sheol, and the sheer board control that you do. Like when we have Kingdoms, Sheol, Ambushing Bandit, Zacchaeus, Akeem, and Distressed, your characters are negated in your territory. Your neutrals are negated, not mine. Your enhancements in your territory are negated. If you use a good draw ability, you got to give me one. Now, yes, we could always play Judas too and really punish them. If you search, I underdeck a soul. And if you use a dominant, I underdeck a hero. So it just, all this adds up when you're losing your resources through my offense and my defense. So really, really annoying. But I hope you all enjoyed. Should have taken a screenshot before I started. I will reorganize my deck and post on Discord because I think this one will be wanted to be replicated. And I hope you all enjoyed the second video of the week. I don't know, with traveling coming up for work, how much I'll be able to do. So I wanted to get some stuff out there while I could. So thanks, y'all.